This is the Anzac Day celebration here in Wundai, where I live, a small town here in Queensland, Australia. Anzac Day is one of the most important day here, and even though there's corona, we we don't stop celebrating this kind of special day. Students, teachers, Tingora State School. That's a nearby town. St. John's Lutheran, a private school in Kingaroy. From Kingaroy. Wurrolin School, nearby town as well. There's more coming. Mag-aalay sila ng flowers doon sa town hall. Doon sa town hall, mag-aalay sila ng flowers. May padating pa. Maikli lang yung parade namin kasi maliit na town lang talaga to. Yung ibang ang kasama dun sa parade, mga taga-ibang town na yun eh. Mga maliliit na town, mas maliit pa sa Hyundai. So, maliban dun sa Kingaroy kasi. Pero yung mga taong sa World War talaga, parang nag-march na sila kaninang 5 a.m. na hindi ko nakuhaan ng video kasi I was still working. Kasi the break of the dawn nila ginagawa yung march, yung mga veterans talaga, yung mga military. Kasi marami ng audience ngayon. Kanina ko konti pa lang. Yan ang banda ng musiko ng Bunday. Huwag nyo ikumpara sa Philippines kasi alam mo naman sa Philippines, laging bongga. Naririnig nyo ba na pumapalakpak ang mga tao? Pumapalakpak ang mga tao. Respeto ang ibig sabihin ng palakpak nila. Hindi kailangan ng mabonggang musiko. Respeto ang binibigay nila. Kasi sila yung ito yung mga veterans, yung mga sumugod sa giyera ng World War. Ayan sila yan. Navy, Army, Air Force. Ganyan lang kaiksi yung parade namin. Kasi small town lang kami. Kung sa big town, mga naka-televise yun. Yung sa mga main celebration ng Anzac Day sa mga big town. Kasi maliit lang naman tong town namin. Pero you can see how people respect those men in uniform. Dahil sa kanila, we are at peace now. Dahil sa mga taong ito na nag-parade ngayon, we are at peace now. The world is at peace. O, diba? So, dito sa Australia, they respect this day so much. And the people na nagbigay ng buhay doon sa giyera. Kasi, ewan ko sa Philippines, laging kapag may occasion, bonggang-bongga. Pero, napi-feel ba natin yung respect? Napi-feel ba natin yung na nire-respeto pa yung mga ginawa ng mga tao na nasa giyera nung unang panahon na nag-alay ng buhay para sa kalayaan natin, sa katahimikan ng mundo. Pero dito talaga sa Australia, kahit hindi bongga yung celebration, mapi-feel mo yung respect nila. Mapi-feel mo yung mga respect ng tao sa okasyon at sa mga tao na nakita nating nag-parade kanina. Nandun yung respect talaga. So, hanga ako sa kanila. Ayan. Dahil nanonood, di ba? Simpleng celebration pero maraming nanonood.
You've done well.
Ayan, hindi na siya pinalakad. Kasakay siya sa kotse kasi may edad na siya. Pero veteran siya. Pastor Dan, how are you? I'm live on.
I wasn't sure.
I'm live in my YouTube channel.
All right. Okay.
I know it's you.
Yeah. Even with the beard.
Even yeah.
Good on you. I don't blame you.
Naghihintay tayo ng
Good morning,
program.
ladies and gentlemen and children.
Good
Thank
morning.
you all for attending the 106th anniversary of the immortal landing at Gallipoli. We'll start with the hymn. Please be seated. I'll now call on Councillor Scott Hanson for the moving of the resolutions.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
First, can I just welcome everybody, but first and foremost, our great Anzacs. And I also acknowledge that the land that we walk on, the Waka Waka people of the past, the present and the future. On the 106th anniversary of the immortal landing at Gallipoli, this meeting of citizens of Queensland expresses its loyalty and its devotion to the throne and person of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. This meeting reaffirms its admiration of the magnificent heroism, self-sacrifice and endurance of the sailors, soldiers, airmen and nursing sisters of Australia and New Zealand, who on the first Anzac Day and throughout the Great War of 1914 to 1918 conferred a glory on Australia and New Zealand that will never fade. Over that lofty ideals of service of the Anzacs pervaded the dauntless spirit of Australia's gallant sons and daughters, who during a period of 6 years of fierce, intense warfare on land, on sea and in the air, from 1939 to 1945, gave such heroic and self-sacrificing service in the cause of liberty. The same lofty ideals of service are exemplified in the Korean, Malayan and Vietnam campaigns. Voices its heartfelt sympathy with the relatives of those who during the war made supreme sacrifice, and with those who have suffered on behalf of the Commonwealth in the Korean, Malayan and Vietnam campaigns. This meeting gives its assurance that those who have fallen shall be held in sacred memory, and those that have survived the perils of war will ever be honoured and remembered with gratitude by the people whose hearts and homes they went forth to save, so that our freedom and our free institutions might survive. Thank you.
I'll now call on the President of the Wondai Sub-Branch, David Scrimger, to be our guest speaker today.
Good morning all, and thank you for coming. This morning I would like to talk about 4 aspects of Anzac Day. 1, what is the meaning of the word Anzac? 2, why do we commemorate Anzac on the 25th, Anzac Day on the 25th of each year? 3, what the name of the day represents, and 4, the nature of the Anzac legacy. Firstly, the meaning of the word Anzac. Anzac, ANZAC, is an acronym for the Australian and New Zealand Army Corps, a grouping of several divisions created early in the Great War of 1914-18. Next to the date. April 25th, of course, is the anniversary of Anzac Day, the day, and Australian troops landed at Gallipoli in 1915. However, this event in isolation does not seem enough to make this date significant. Gallipoli was not the first time Australians had been in battle, and it was by no means an outstanding success. Australians had previously fought in the Maori Wars, had deployed to the Sudan in 1885, and fought against the Boer War between 1899 and 1902. Gallipoli was not even an Australian battle, for we landed and fought alongside troops from New Zealand, from Britain, from France and Newfoundland. So why have we chosen April the 25th? What made Gallipoli different for Australia was the first major battle we Australians fought as a nation. Soldiers from every state of the newly federated Australia volunteered and fought. What seared itself into our national soul was the sheer scale of casualties. Gallipoli lasted 8.5 months, and in that time 7,600 Australians and 2,500 New Zealanders were killed. 2,400 were wounded. Gallipoli was a battle we lost, and people still ask why we celebrate defeat. The answer is, I believe, that in commemorating Anzac Day, we never set out to celebrate victory. Had we wanted to, we had plenty of other opportunities in our military heritage. After Gallipoli, Australians won many famous battles in France, Flanders, Palestine in the Great War, in North Africa, the Middle East, the Southwest Pacific, in the air and at sea in subsequent wars. This is not to mention Korea, Malaya, Borneo, Vietnam and now Afghanistan, in which Australians fought with distinction. But to return to my point, April the 25th is not about a military victory. As a people, we choose the day when loss of war scarred the conscience of a young nation. The loss was felt across the whole community, and it was a tragedy we can all associate with. My third point about Anzac concerns the very term Anzac Day. If you think about it, Anzac is not a battle. Anzac is not a place. Anzac is a collective noun for a group of people. Thus, Anzac Day gives us as a nation the opportunity to think as individuals, ordinary Australians serving the nation in times when we, as a democracy, have seen our lands of or interests threatened to such a degree that it has been necessary for us to go to war. We think about those who served, those who joined together to make the formidable fighting and support forces that Australia was and still is proud of. We salute their fellowship and courage. We think of the families, those who stayed behind. They battled their own problems with thoughts of war times and supported those who fought. We salute their endurance and strength. We think of the prisoners and the wounded, and those who still suffer today. Above all, on Anzac Day, we honour those who died for us and for our nation, Australia, for the peace. But what of the Anzac legacy? The fact that Anzac Day is a day for the people is evident in the way we mark it. It is not a day for military parades or power. It is a day of gathering, of veterans or reunions, of services of community involvement, of reflection and honouring our forebearers. If we do celebrate anything on Anzac Day, it is the legacy that those who fought at Anzac gave us, and those who followed them and strengthened and enriched. In the face of adversity, the Anzacs demonstrated beyond doubt the necessary military virtues of duty, courage, teamwork, resolution and self-sacrifice. But to these they added quite a few unique qualities of their own: mateship, trust, a discipline based on respect and not on assumed worth, initiative, resourcefulness, wry humour, and what is often forgotten, a respect for the courage and capability of friend and foe alike. The excellence and unique reputation surrounding Anzac still survives, even in the armed forces today. Anzac Day is the great Australian and New Zealand tradition. It is celebrated by all over the two nations and wherever Australians are overseas. It is our day, a day to remember with reflection and courage on people and value of friendship, to honour the dead, to acknowledge those who suffered and still suffer from the effects of war. We do not celebrate victory or glorify war. We celebrate the human spirit and the spirit of Anzac. Thank you.
Yes, true.
For those who are able, could you please stand for the reading of the honour roll? World War I, J.G. Barnes, A. Zarnke, J.H.W. Loft, H.A. Benson, J. Hanson, E.J. Keane, C.B. Galloway, R.H. Monkley, C. Malley, J. Horriban, C. Wardle,
Tinatawag isa-isa yung mga pangalan ng mga sumali
F.
sa
Clark,
World War I.
A.W. Ponting, L.R.W. Anderson, T.P. Alexander, H.T. Orliff, W.C. Dorrington, T.J. Doherty, J.D. Schwenkbrett, P. Bartley, W.H. Grace, W.H. Perkins, J.Y. Sorensen, S.L. Russell, E.W. Chandler, F. Slade, E. Lawyer, C. McCormack, W. Finnemore, E. Rasmussen, L. Bennett, G.T. Stuckey, G.M. Clark, S. Lee, G. Muller, V. Greenup, W.J. Keys, J.J. Hanson, M.V. Whelan, R.J. Gunner, A. Painter, W. Micken, A.R. Brazier, W. Gould, C.M. Harper, W.W. Elliott, P. Cochrane, J.R. McHugh, W.A.H. Higman, R.D. Kinsley, J. McCabe, W.V. Steele, H.G. Gardner, G. Hook, R.F. Clark, A. Black, J. McHugh, E. Williams, J. Smythe, A. Hanson, E.R. Jerd, and A.C. Davis. World War II,
World War II na.
G.D. Burns,
Mga
G.W.
pangalan pa rin yan.
B.H.G. Gunner, J.A. Ahern, E.D. Barnett, P. Wardle, W. Sorensen, J.L. Carter, R. Elcote, H.F. Grace, W. Griffin, D. Pedersen, J.D. Harrop, D. Kootman, D. Schubert, M.F. Nolan, K.S. Bell, M.E. Robinson, R.O. Connell, F. Henderson, F. Cross, A.L.C. Kerr, T. Woodgate, A.T. Lay, A.G. Cronlag, L.T. Hatchman, G.E. Craft, L. Stegman, A.A. Farley, W. Barlow, G. Rankin, B.J. Gunner, L. Smith, F. Atkins, R.F. Ahern, B. Ferris, and C. Flewell Smith. Lest we forget.
Lest
We'll
we
now have the
forget.
wreath laying ceremony, and you can be seated. The guest speaker and the South Burnett Regional Council.
Pag-aalay ng bulaklak.
Bondi sub-branch of RSL and Vietnam veterans. Bondi Citizens Auxiliary, RSL. Reserve Forces Day Committee. Bondi Diggers Club, Bondi Regional Art Gallery. Bondi Catholic Church, the Bondi Anglican Church and any other churches.
Fill me, Spirit of the living God, fall afresh on me. Ganyan nila
Bondi
nire-respeto
CWA Choir.
ang mga tao na nagbuwis ng buhay para sa kalayaan. O, di ba? Simpleng celebration lang siya pero full of respect.
Bondi Fire and Emergency. Bondi SES. St John's Lutheran School, the Bondi State School, Marulan State School, and Tinguran.
Mga students. Mga school captain siguro yung mga yan.
the Wandai Show Society, Wandai District Tennis Association. Queensland Police, Wandai, Wandai District Band. Wandai Country Club, Wandai District Garden Club.
Hindi lang sila nag-aalay ng bulaklak, nag-aalay din sila ng prayer. Yung iba nag-salute.
Wandai CWA, Wandai Lions Club.
Ang sarap panoorin kahit naiinitan ka kasi nakikita mo yung pagpapahalaga nila sa buhay ng mga taong nawala. Yung iba,
Wandai Football Club. And is there anyone else who wishes to lay a wreath?
football club. Nakita niyo yun, nagtanggal ng sombrero. Spirit of the living God, full of fresh on me.
Would you all please stand for the last post? They shall go not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
Yes. Lest we forget.
lest we forget.
Lest we forget.
We'll now have the New Zealand National Anthem, followed by the Royal Anthem, and then the National Australian Anthem.
Advance
Thank you,
Australia
ladies and
Fair.
gentlemen. You may be seated. Firstly, I'd like to thank everyone for attending today, and on behalf of the RSL in particular, the town band, the South Burnett pipe bands this morning who marched us down the street for our dawn service, and for anyone who has helped in any way, particularly Lucy who played the bugle calls here and out at the cemetery. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget at about 12:30 today, the jet will fly over. And this afternoon, I think there's races on, so enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll now ask Councillor Scott Henshin to close the ceremony.
Thank you, Neil. Yes, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. What a wonderful day it's been. And thank you to our Anzacs, of course, is why we are here. On behalf of the South Burnett Regional Council, I'd like to bring today's and this morning's proceedings to an end. And again, safe travels, ladies and gentlemen, and enjoy the rest of Anzac Day. And we look forward to doing this again next year. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. So, Kuya Wally, I heard you.
Could you hear my voice?
Yeah. So, dyan na po nagtatapos. Magbabike na po kami. I'll go back to biking. Hi, baby! Diba? Konting celebration pero full of respect, damang-dama. Damang-dama ang respeto. At yon ang gusto ko dito sa Australia. Uwian na po. Salamat po sa panonood.